You are standing on a lot looking at an F-150, and the engine under that hood is the wrong one. The hood is up, the salesman is smiling, the sticker is in the window, and there is a little six-cylinder sitting in a bay meant for a V8 wearing 2 turbos. You are not being paranoid, friend. Your gut is right. The wrong engine in that truck is a $9,000 mistake waiting on you. A full engine on an EcoBoost lands between $6,500 and $8,900 at most shops. That is the number. And it is not that Ford built junk. It is that they built 4 different F-150 engines over the last 15 years, and only one of them has the reliability record Ford-owned technicians will actually vouch for. The other 3 have known windows where they eat themselves. Now the practice I want you watching for. The salesman who tells you all EcoBoosts are the same, and the shop that tells you every turbo is a time bomb so they can sell you a fear package on top of a truck that is actually fine. Both of those folks are working the same play from 2 sides. I have watched it from the dealership side of the counter and from mine. It is a their quote problem, not a your truck problem. The good news is you can spot the right one from 10 feet away before your name touches a piece of paper. You do not need a mechanic in your pocket. You need 4 things to check and 1 line to say. I am Sal Whitaker, 12 years inside a dealership service department watching this exact playbook, then 30 years running my own shop cleaning it up. You do not need to be a car guy for this. You do not need to know a cam phaser from a coffee cup. You do not need a code reader. You do not need a friend at the dealer. And you do not need a Saturday. You need 10 minutes on the lot, because the question is never, can I afford this truck? The question is, am I buying an engine, or am I buying a repair bill on wheels with a truck wrapped around it? 2 different purchases, same sticker price. And once you can tell them apart on the lot, nobody sells you a bad F-150 again. I promise you that. There are 4 stages to this, start to finish, and here is what you are getting. First, the one-engine Ford-owned techs will put their name on, what it looks like, what it costs when it does eventually need work, and why it is the safest bet on any used lot in America. Second, the EcoBoost trap, which years to walk past and which years to negotiate. Third, the little 2.7 that most folks get wrong. Fourth, the ghost engine on the older trucks nobody warns you about. 2 of these stages cost you nothing but 10 minutes standing next to the truck. And whatever you do, do not skip the last piece I have got for you at the end. It is the one thing almost every buyer gets wrong on the lot. The reason the good used ones and the ticking time bomb ones look identical when you go see them. And it is the whole ball game. All right, come on over here. Come here to the hood. First thing you do before anybody talks to you is look at the plastic engine cover. On a Coyote, that cover says one thing and one thing only, 5.0. Big block letters right on top. No badge that says EcoBoost anywhere on that fender either. That silver oval on the outside says F-150, that is fine, but the fender badge tells you the engine. And this is a driveway check. You can do it in the parking lot with your hands in your pockets. If the cover says 5.0 and the fender does not say EcoBoost, you are looking at the engine we are talking about. If it says 3.5 or 2.7, we are going to cover those next. Do not panic. So here is what is under that cover. 8 cylinders, arranged in a V, aluminum block, aluminum heads, weighs about 440 pounds bare. Ford calls it the TI VCT Coyote. That TI VCT part just means it has 4 little round units at the front of the engine, size of a hockey puck, that twist the camshafts a few degrees to squeeze more efficiency out of it. Those are cam phasers, and we will come back to them in the next chapter because they matter more on the other engine. What this thing does not have, and this is the whole point, no turbos. No little snail-shaped chargers hanging off the exhaust. No intercooler up front. No high-pressure charge air pipes. Fewer parts. Fewer things to fail. Fewer bills. The 2018 through 2025.0 is the sweet spot. Now let us talk numbers because that is the whole reason you are watching. Say the worst happens and the Coyote finally does need a full long block, 300,000 miles down the road. Reman engine at a parts counter is running about $4,500 to $5,800. Labor to pull it and put it back, 10 to 15 hours. So call it $1,800 to $2,700 at a fair shop. Total, worst case, $6,300 to $8,500 all in. And I want you to hold that number because you're going to hear it again in a minute when we look at the EcoBoost. Same engine bay, not the same bill. Prices swing by region. Call that an estimate, not a promise. Put your wallet away for 1 second and listen to the honest caveat. One thing to know on this engine, and I am being straight with you. Some Coyotes, especially 2018 and newer, drink a little oil between changes. Not all of them, some. What you do is check the dipstick every couple weeks the first month you own it. That is it. If it is staying between the marks, you are fine. If it is dropping a quart every 1,000 miles, that is a conversation, not an emergency. And the honest caveat, the Coyote is not immortal. Nothing is. What it is boring. It fails in slow, predictable, cheap-to-address ways. That is the whole pitch. Boring is the best word you can say about a used truck engine. That is the verdict. Engine replacement is shop work, not driveway work. So that is the answer to the whole title, right there in 4 minutes. 5.0 Coyote V8, 2018 through 2020 is the sweet spot. Buy that one and mostly stop worrying. But I know what half of you are asking. What if the truck I am looking at has an EcoBoost? Is it really that bad? Answer is, no, it is not that bad. It is specific. And the specifics are worth a lot of money to you. Come here, let me show you the 2 turbos on this one. All right, come to this next truck. Fender badge says EcoBoost. Cover says 3.5. Bigger of the 2 turbo engines Ford put in this thing. Now here is your driveway check on this one. And this is the check most people never get to do because the salesman starts it warm. Ask them to shut it off and let it sit an hour. Then come back and start it cold and listen at the front of the engine. If you hear a little rattle at first crank, sounds kind of like marbles in a coffee can, and it lasts 2 to 5 seconds and goes away, that is a known thing. Ford wrote a bulletin about it in 2023 for the 2017 through 2020 trucks. Does not mean the truck is dead. Means you have a negotiation. Come here to the counter. I will show you what that noise is. This part right here, size of a hockey puck, machined steel. This is a cam phaser. There are 4 of them on the front of every 3.5 EcoBoost. Their job is to twist the camshaft using oil pressure. And when they wear out, they clatter for a couple seconds on cold start before the oil pressure builds. Now look at the truck. Those 2 snail-shaped units bolted to the exhaust manifolds. Those are the turbochargers. That aluminum radiator-looking thing in front of the main radiator, that is the intercooler. All that plumbing is what you do not get on the Coyote. It is what makes the truck fast. It is also what makes it maintenance heavy. The Gen 1, 2011 through 2016, is the higher risk window. The Gen 2, 2017 on, is improved. So here is what the timing job actually costs. Gen 1 3.5 EcoBoost, that is 2011 through 2016. If the phasers and chain are worn out, a fair shop is charging $1,200 to $2,100 to fix it. Gen 2, that is 2017 on. Same job runs $900 to $1,600 because Ford revised the design. That is for the phasers, the chain, the guides, the tensioner, gaskets, and 8 to 12 hours of labor. Now here is what they won't tell you at the dealership. I have seen that same job written up as a full engine replacement, $8,900, because the writer heard a rattle and rolled straight to the top of the estimate. Same noise, $3,000 difference. Fella came into my shop last spring, had a 2015 3.5 EcoBoost. Dealership had quoted him $7,200 to replace the engine. His truck rattled for 3 seconds on cold start. 3 seconds. I replaced the 4 phasers, chain, and guides. $1,500 out the door. And the honest caveat, if you are looking at a Gen 1, 2011 through 2016, price it like it has got a phaser job coming because it probably does. That is not a driveway job. That is shop work, not driveway work. Front cover off, precise timing, one wrong torque spec, and you throw a valve into a piston. So the 3.5 EcoBoost is not garbage. It is specific. 2017 and up, priced right, negotiated with the phaser number in your back pocket, that truck is fine. Pre-2017, you had better love it and love the number. Now the smaller EcoBoost, the 2.7, that one is a different animal, and there is a specific model year window on it that a lot of shops do not warn you about. Come here. Fender says EcoBoost, cover says 2.7. Smaller are the two turbo V6s. Now here is your driveway check, and this one takes 30 seconds. Pop the coolant reservoir cap. Engine cold, always cold, never hot, and look at the fluid. Should be clear coolant, no oil floating on top, no chocolate milk look. Then pull the oil dipstick and look at the underside. Should be honey-colored oil, not milky. On a 2015, 2016, or 2017 2.7 EcoBoost, you are specifically checking for head gasket failure because that year range had a documented weakness in the early design. If both look clean, breathe. If either one looks off, walk. It is that simple. So the 2.7 is a compact V6, twin turbos, integrated exhaust manifolds cast right into the heads on the early ones, and that is actually where the problem starts. A head gasket is a thin metal sheet about the size of a dinner plate that sits between the engine block and the cylinder head. Its job is to seal in combustion, seal in coolant, and seal in oil, all separately, all under heat. When Ford launched the 2.7 in 2015, the head gasket design did not handle the thermal stress under load, so they leaked. Coolant into the oil or coolant out the exhaust is white smoke. Ford revised it. By 2018, that pattern is largely done. The Car Guru's data shows the 2018 and up 2.7 is high reliability. That is the window you want. Here is what a failed 2.7 head gasket cost you. A Reman 2.7 EcoBoost long block is $4,200 to $5,500. Labor is another $1,900 to $2,800. Total $6,100 to $8,300 all in. That is if you have to replace the engine. Now, and this is the part they do not tell you at the counter, a lot of 2.7 head gasket jobs do not need a whole new engine. If it is caught early, a proper head gasket job with resurfacing is a lot less. A shop that quotes you $8,000 on a truck that just needs gaskets and a machine shop visit, that is not a repair. That is a their quote problem. Woman came in a while back, 2016 2.7, husband had passed the year before. Dealer quoted her $8,100, full engine. I opened the reservoir, coolant was milky, head gasket. I did the gasket, resurfaced the head, put it together. She paid $2,200 and drove it home. That was 3 years ago, and she still drives it. The honest limit? If a 2.7 has been overheated repeatedly, not once, repeatedly, the block itself may be warped, and then you really are looking at the full number. This is shop work, not driveway work, but the diagnostic is your work at the lot before you sign. So that is the 2.7. 2018 and up, you are fine. 2015 through 2017, you check the fluids yourself before you sign anything. Now there is one more engine we have got to talk about. The older one on the used lot everybody forgets about, the 5.4 Triton. All of this checking still will not save you if you miss the one move almost every buyer gets wrong on the lot. We are almost there. Come here. If you are shopping older F-150s to save money, 2004 through 2010, and the cover says Triton or 5.4, you need to hear this before you fall in love. This is a driveway check you can do just by reading the badge and the year on the door jamb. If it is a 2004 through 2010 F-150 with a 5.4 3-valve Triton V8, and most of them from those years were, you are looking at an engine with two specific known problems that come with the territory. Not necessarily a deal breaker, absolutely a negotiation, and absolutely something to know before you drive it home instead of after. Come here, look at this. This long, narrow thing, that is a spark plug out of a 5.4 3-valve. Look at the length of it, about twice as long as a normal plug. Ford designed it that way, and what happens is carbon builds up around the shell inside the head, and when a shop goes to remove it at a tune-up, the plug snaps off in the head. Piece stays in there. I did one about 8 years ago. A fella 2007 F-150, plug broke on removal, and getting it out took 4 hours in specialty extractors. Second problem on this engine, cam phasers. Same idea as the EcoBoost, but louder, longer, and more expensive to address. So here is the number on a 5.4. Full engine, reman, 3,500 to 4,200, plus 1,800 to 2,700 labor, total 5,300 to 6,900. That is the cheapest of the 4 engines to replace, if you are only looking at the sticker. But, and this is a big but, a spark plug that snaps off in the head can run you $300 to $500 in extraction labor alone if a shop bills it out. On a job that was supposed to be an $80 tune-up. That is the padding trap on this engine. That is the thing nobody quotes you until the plug is already in pieces. So here is the counterscript on any 5.4 you are buying. Ask when the plugs were last done and by who. If they were done and documented at a Ford dealer or a serious independent and the records show it, that is a green light. If nobody has touched the plugs in 100,000 miles, price that truck like you are going to pay to have them done carefully and expect one to break. That is not driveway work either. Removing 5.4 plugs is shop work with the right technique and the right tools. And I am being straight with you. Some 5.4s go 300,000 miles just fine. It is a coin flip. Know that before you flip. So we have done all 4. The Coyote, the 3.5, the 2.7, the 5.4. You know the engines, you know the numbers, you know which years to look at and which to walk past. But I told you at the top there is one move almost every buyer gets wrong at the lot. And it does not matter which engine we just covered, this move applies to all of them. And it is the whole reason 2 identical-looking used F-150s can be worth $8,000 different. All right, here it is. Here is the one everybody gets wrong, and it is the reason 2 F-150s that look identical on the lot are worth $8,000 different. Fella came into my shop about 4 years ago, just bought a 2016 3.5 EcoBoost off a lot. Beautiful truck. Drove it home warm. They had started it before he got there. Next morning he cold started it in his driveway. Rattled for 8 seconds. 8. Ford Bulletin says 2 to 5. He came to me white as a sheet. That truck had a full timing job hiding in it and the lot knew it. Here is how you do not become that fella. 3 steps. Do them in this order. Step 1. Verify the VIN engine code before anything else. Position 8 of the VIN, the 8th character, tells you the exact engine. Look it up on your phone in 30 seconds. Do not trust the badge. Badges get swapped. VINs do not lie. Step 2, and this is the one. The truck must be started cold, not warm. Not idling when you walk up. Cold. If it is warm when you get there, you have 2 moves. Either ask them to shut it off and let it sit 2 hours while you go get lunch, or come back the next morning before the lot opens and listen at the fence at 7 a.m. when they crank it for the first time. If they refuse both, walk. That refusal is your answer. Step 3. Ask for the last 2 oil change receipts. Not a service history summary, the actual receipts with dates, mileage, and shop names. No receipts means no evidence. No evidence means price it accordingly or walk. Here is what those 3 steps are worth. On a 3.5 EcoBoost bought warm, unverified, no receipts, you are exposed to a $1,200 to $2,100 phaser job the moment you drive it off the lot, and if the shop pads it into an engine, up to $8,900. On a Coyote bought warm with no oil change records, you do not know if it is a boring 300,000-mile engine or one that has been run 5,000 miles between changes. On a 5.4, warm start hides the exhaust manifold ticks you would hear cold. 3 steps, 10 minutes. Somewhere between $1,500 and $8,000 in exposure, gone. That is what the cold start verify is worth, not what a shop pays you to know it, what a mistake costs when you do not. So here is what you do this weekend. If you are going to look at an F-150 tomorrow, you call the lot tonight. You tell them, I will be there at 7:30 in the morning, and I would like the truck untouched, engine cold when I arrive. Watch how they answer. That answer is more diagnostic than anything under the hood. When you get there, you verify the VIN on your phone before you shake a hand. You listen at first crank. You ask for the receipts. And then, and only then, do you decide if you are buying an engine or a repair bill. That is the whole game. Put your wallet away. All right, I owe you a hard truth. I have been rough on the EcoBoost engines this whole video, and I want to walk that back a little because it deserves walking back. A 2019 3.5 EcoBoost that has been maintained by somebody who cared, oil changes on time, phasers already addressed, receipts in a folder, that is a fine truck. Better than a neglected Coyote. I would buy one myself at the right number. What I will not do is buy one blind. And the honest limit of everything I just taught you, none of this saves a truck that has already been abused. If the previous owner ran it dry, no verify move on earth undoes that. Now here is who this is really aimed at. Not the salesman who honestly does not know a phaser from a shock absorber. He is doing his job. Not the tech at the dealer who actually has grease under his fingernails and would tell you the truth if you asked. I worked next to those guys for 12 years. This is aimed at the practice, the fear cell that dresses up a routine repair as an emergency, the padded quote that turns a $1,500 phaser job into a $9,000 engine, the salesman who starts the truck warm because he already knows what it sounds like cold. That is a their quote problem, not a your truck problem. Now you can spot it from the parking lot. Your F-150 is not out to get you. Ford is not out to get you. Neither am I. The scary quote and the warm engine start were the only two things in this whole video that ever were, and now you can spot them both. A good shop lives on the repairs it talks you out of, not the ones it invents. A good truck lives on the checks its next owner did before signing anything. 10 minutes on a cold engine will save you more money than any warranty they try to sell you on the way out. All right, your turn. Drop a comment. What F-150 are you looking at right now? What year? What engine? And what is the number on the sticker? And if you already own one and a shop just handed you a quote you are staring at, tell me the year, the engine, and the number they wrote down. Tell me straight, and I will tell you if it is fair. No judgment, nobody gets roasted here. And if you have got an F-150 making a noise in your driveway right this minute, tell me what it sounds like, when it happens, and how long it lasts. I will tell you if it is a $1,500 fix or something you can leave alone. I read them. If this saved you $1 today, subscribe so the next quote does not catch you off guard. That is the whole deal here. You bring me the numbers, I will tell you what they should be. Next time we are opening the dealership decoder files, the 3 lines on any Ford service estimate that are pure profit, and the exact words that make them disappear off your bill before you sign. If you have ever paid a shop supplies fee and wondered what it actually covers, or a diagnostic fee that somehow does not credit toward the repair, that one is for you. It will save you between $200 and $400 the next time your truck sees a bay. Take care of it, and it'll take care of you. See ya.